So you still have a few weeks until school starts, and you're thinking, you know what? I really want to set myself up for success so that when I walk into the school year, I'm prepared and I'm ready, especially in the area of classroom management. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some tips on how you can prepare or set yourself up for success this coming school year. Stay tuned. Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Holliday. I'm a behavior strategist, and I help teachers, schools, districts, and youth-based organizations learn how to manage their students and their learning environments with less stress and less struggle. And in today's video, we're talking all about some tips on how you can prepare yourself for success for the school year, especially in the area of classroom management. So if you're ready, let's get started. Tip number one, have a vision for the outcome of your school year. I see a lot of teachers waiting until they get to pre-planning or the first meeting of the school year to decide what I want to see for my classroom, or if they think of it at all. I am saying to you that if you have a vision before you step through the doors of pre-planning week, you will set yourself up for success. So what are we talking about when we look for vision? Think about, what do you want your students to experience during that school year for you? For me, it was all about three main things: collaboration, respect, and learning new things. So as I went throughout the school year, I was looking for opportunities for collaboration amongst my students, looking for opportunities to build respect because a lot of my kids came with no respect. And also, I wanted my students to walk out learning something new so that at the end of the day, they could say, you know what? I didn't know this, but now I know that. So whatever is important to you, get a vision for what you want to see, because guess what? Without a vision, who knows where you will end up? Tip number two, prepare for the attitude. Now, I don't know if you're a brand new teacher or you're a seasoned teacher, but a lot of our students have attitudes. Frankly, a lot of our adults have attitudes. So go ahead and prepare for the attitude. And what do I mean by prepare? Decide ahead, how am I going to respond? What is my mindset going to be? How am I going to address the attitudes that may show up in my classroom? Here's the thing. Like I said, a lot of them are coming into the classroom with an attitude. So more often than not, it has nothing to do with you as the individual. It really has to do with maybe their frame of mind, their experience in school, maybe something that has come from that happened at home or before they even entered your classroom. So don't take attitudes personal, but understand they're going to show up and you need to decide, how are you going to address it? Tip number three, be able to articulate why you do what you do in your classroom. And this is going to be for a variety of reasons. First of all, you want to be able to articulate to your administration why you may have a certain classroom management system or strategy in your classroom. And it's not that you're to come from a defensive mode, but you're actually to come from a confident, I am the teacher of this classroom, the CEO of this classroom mindset and perspective. I remember when I had administration come into my room and they would say, well, why are you doing this? Or what's happening here? And I decided early on not to be defensive why I operated my classroom the way I did. I really took it from a place of, I am a leader explaining to another leader why I do what I do. And even having a mindset of maybe they're trying to learn what works well in my classroom or trying to find ways to assist, even if that wasn't true. So it's really important that you are able to articulate to your administration, possibly articulate to your parents. Once again, not to prove that you're doing the right thing, but to be able to share with them, this is the structure, these are the strategies I have, and maybe help them work with their children on how they can support you. And the third reason you need to articulate is sometimes, depending on the age group of your student, you may want to give a quick reason why you do what you do. Because let's face it, in this generation, our students are used to receiving a lot of information. So they may ask, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And once again, instead of being defensive, be open, depending on the situation, of explaining, this is why I do think sheets. This is why I asked you to move your chair. This is why I gave you the response that I gave you. Because a lot of times with our students, when they know, even if they agree or not, you do get a better behavioral result from them. Tip number four, have a classroom management system. Now, this is not the school behavior plan. This is your own classroom management system that should align with the school plan. Because let's face it, a lot of times the school plan does not cover all of the gaps and all the behaviors and all the situations that happen in your classroom. And frankly, they're not supposed to. This is your classroom. These are your students. And you need to have a system in place that addresses the unique needs of your students. And if you're looking for some information on how to build your system, check out my on-demand workshop. I'll leave it in the link below. Tip number 5, consider a student mindset. As you are planning out your school year, think about your classroom from a student mindset for a moment. Considering the age or grade level of your students, what would be some things they would value? What types of way would they love to learn? What could you incorporate into your classroom so that the educational process is engaging? Also take into consideration what skills they may need to succeed in your classroom. This may be something you're going to have to teach throughout the school year. Tip number 6, know what your students need to be successful in your classroom. Every classroom is different, no matter what you teach, based on your experience, your personality, maybe the goals of your grade level or your department, and of course, your school. And knowing that and keeping that in mind, know what is necessary for your students to succeed in your classroom. I already know when it comes to behavior, respect is key to be able to succeed, as well as working with others. But also understand that my students are not allowed to sleep in my classroom and that I am willing to implement a variety of strategies to make sure that there are no sleepers. Once you know what it takes for a student to be successful, begin to put together a lesson on success tips for your classroom so that you can teach your students how to be successful. And I'm talking about from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. Now, the way you package it and put it together will be based on the grade level. But if you begin to teach your students early on how to be successful and actually label it this way in your classroom, you will get better behavior results from your students. And tip number 7, identify the top 3 to 5 behaviors that absolutely drive you crazy in your classroom. And once you identify them, then start to come up with what are some proactive strategies that you can put in place to address those behaviors. So for example, one of my pet peeves is profanity in the classroom. I have a big issue with that. So knowing that that's one behavior that just drives me nuts, I have a number of strategies in my toolbox that addresses the profanity. I have it ready to go before I even step in the door on pre-planning week. I'm going to say the same thing for you. Identify what is it, those 3 things that you're like, oh my goodness, I just can't take this in my classroom. And begin to add strategies to your toolbox so that you can be proactive. And proactive means address it before the behavior even gets a chance to show up. So if you're looking for ways to build your toolbox, I have a variety of strategies here, right here on this YouTube channel. Also, you can join my email newsletter where I provide a number of strategies as well. So there you have it, 7 tips on how you can prepare yourself for a successful school year classroom management style. In the comments below, tell me, how are you preparing yourself for a successful school year? I love to hear it, and I will see you in the next video.